You're starting now, yeah. Other way.
All right. Wow. Thank you. Everyone, look around. Amazing. It looks fantastic. So, first, thank you, everyone, for being here today. Some people have travelled a long distance and may be experiencing some culture shock. So, thank you to all those who have travelled from the Shire.
Same.
Don't worry. I have checked what time the residents-only boom gate will lower, and I've been assured that it won't be lowered until after midnight, so there'll be plenty of time to organise a good old-fashioned riot. Troy has actually specifically asked me to refrain from speaking about any past girlfriends during this speech. Sadly, that's cut the speech short by a good 6 seconds. But he's the man of the day, and I respect his wishes.
Well done.
I first met Troy 20 years ago, and 19 have passed since we've been best friends. It's not easy having a best friend who's smarter, funnier and better looking than you, but Troy hasn't let that bother him. We bonded over creating mischief, terrorising teachers and making many forced visits to the principal's office. Troy's impeccable tastes in friends resulted in an invitation to play at his house one weekend, and the rest, they say, is history. After that weekend, Troy and I had a friendship bond that is then assumed for life. No contracts, no promises, although Troy did try and give me a BFF heart-shaped locket, which I thought was weird. But just the knowledge that we'd be friends forever. And going through the years as we'd grow older, our friendship has stood the test of time. For no matter how much time has passed since we've seen or saw or spoke to each other last, sometimes even days, when we'd meet up again, it would always feel like just yesterday. And for that reason, it's with great pride that I stand here today as Troy's best man on the most special day of his life, with the exception of the day he met me 20 years ago. Over the years, I've learned who Troy is. He is a man of many words, just as long as those words are yep, nah, and okay. But Troy speaks to us in his own way. I can sometimes have full 20-minute conversations with him just by looking in his eyes and knowing what's going through his mind. And it's especially clear when I regularly kick his ass in tennis or the coveted Wimbledon championships, when Troy would jump up and down like a distraught, crying Chinese exchange student who didn't get a perfect 100% on his test. But one thing I have learned from Troy is his ability to make a wide range of friends. They say you can measure a man by the quality of his friends, and Troy is certainly a man who is liked and respected by many people. That is, unless you're a security guard up at Carmen's. So I come here today humbled, knowing that he could have asked any number of his friends to be his best man, but I've received the honour. And I tell you, I'm truly honoured. And I thank Troy and Carly for the opportunity to play a part in their special celebration today. So, Troy and I have shared so many stories that span the entire range of emotions that one can have, and apart from the fact that some must never be repeated or are way too inappropriate for a wedding speech, there are simply too many to share tonight. So come see me exactly 1.37 beers for the dirt. So with being sport for choice in terms of Troy stories, I will share some of the things that make him so unique to me. I realised a few years ago now that Troy and I have never ever had a single argument, not once. Now, I don't know if it's because of an amazing friendship or he just kept it to himself and took it out on those Carmen security guards later. But I think of him as the one friend I can truly be myself around and trust with my life. I think it's fitting that Troy has never had or won an argument against me, because now that he's married, he certainly won't ever win an argument again.
Carly knows that.
Troy's ability to attract such a wide circle of friends lies in his supportive and generous nature. Troy is always supportive, giving of his time, his effort, his energy, or even his money. Troy never lets a friend ever doubt the sincerity of his friendship, and that's what makes him so special. His ability to give freely and risk everything for his loved ones. And that brings me to Carly. And I must say, today, Carly and the bridesmaids look absolutely breathtaking today.
Go, Carly.
I first heard of this Carly girl when Troy, Evan, Chris and I were living at the infamous Le Young Chateau in Sylvania, and Troy came to me saying he had met this gorgeous girl named Carly from Wollongong. I could straight away hear the excitement in his voice as he mumbled, "Yep, no." And I had the pleasure of meeting Carly several weeks later at the chateau when Troy bumbled up with the vigour and energy that only one had when he was falling in love. Troy had this huge smile on his face that spelled, "I'm the proudest and happiest guy in the world right now." And as soon as I met Carly, I knew the feelings were warranted, well and truly. She was, even though she's an old married woman now, still a gorgeous girl with a glowing energy and infectious energy. I looked at Troy and we had our usual 20-minute private conversation with our eyes. And he was just like that little schoolboy who asked me over to play that 19 years ago. Over the weeks, months and then years getting to know Carly, it became apparent, at least to me, that she was the girl that lit up Troy's life. It was obvious to me that one day he would ask her to marry him, and when that day came and he told me their news, I was so happy and joyous that a little bit of weed came out.
Nice honest.
Okay, a lot.
Oh, killing it.
Because I love my best friend and I want the best for him, I knew Carly would be the girl to make the most meaningful and long-lasting contribution to his life. In fact, when the relationship started getting serious, I noted it and took several observations of any changes or developments that may have occurred. The first was, and some say disappointingly right, Dane, was Troy no longer stays up to 5 a.m. drinking, singing and dancing to his favourite punk metal music in just his underwear, spilling VB all over the floor, mopping the amber liquid around with his socks, laughing uncontrollably as if he was a rock star and it'd be someone else's problem in the morning. He no longer consumes takeaway food on a daily basis, not because he doesn't know how to cook, but because he simply refuses. But eats healthy most of the time thanks to Carly's brilliant and healthy cooking. Now, most people are afraid of their partners changing them, even more so other friends. Things like, "Babe, can I hang with the boys tonight?" is the well-known death sentence to friends when a long-term partner comes onto the scene. Well, in the case of Troy and Carly, I can proudly say that Carly has changed Troy, but I believe for the better. She makes him continually reach and exceed his potential. Most importantly, Carly seems to have helped Troy become an even better version of himself, and which I for one didn't even know was possible. Today I feel blessed to have witnessed not only the marriage of a friend, but the union of two friends. Theirs is a love that will stand the test of time. I am excited to see what the next chapter in their life will hold. And so to conclude, Carly and Troy, I wish you both a lifetime of love and happiness. Carly and Troy.
Thank you, Clint. That was amazing. Okay, so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I met Troy almost 10 years ago. And I remember going to his house for the very first time. And when I left, after about an hour, I said to Reese, who's here tonight, one of the groomsmen, "Does that guy talk at all?" It was the most awkward day. And I'll never ever forget it because I talk a lot and he didn't talk at all. And so it was like verbal diarrhea coming out of my mouth trying to make a conversation. And as the years went on, everything just blossomed for Troy. And he was in search of a woman that would change his life. And fortunately for him, he did, and that's Carly. So, a man of a few words is about to wow us with his words, and I'd like to welcome Troy.